Hi, I'm Christophe Langlois, and you're on Visible Banking. Since March 2009, my team has been tracking how financial institutions worldwide are using Twitter. And this gives us some totally unique insights on how well or how badly the industry has been leveraging that very popular communication channel. We're tracking over 1,500 accounts in 72 countries. And basically on Twitter, one of your first goals is to make people comfortable in having conversations with you. I mean, in all fairness, Twitter is not very secure. It can be hacked as well quite easily, but it doesn't mean that you can't do a great job there, yeah? And there's ways to minimize the level of risk as well. But the first thing is to increase perception, to make people comfortable, okay? And to basically increase the level of trust in your Twitter presence, yeah? And take ownership of your brand on that very popular channel. One of the ways to do so is to get the almighty Twitter verified badge. So I don't know how much you're aware of that badge, but I'm going to tell you that out of those 1,500 accounts, just 0.05% got that badge in financial services. Yeah, the first one being a Citi, I believe, a year and a half ago, thanks to Jamie Punishill. Yeah, so Citi in the U.S. 0.05%. So what does that mean? Is it a lot? Is it nothing? How does it compare to the overall Twitter usage and member base? So Twitter, you're familiar with it. So it's been launched like a few years ago. Now they've got 200 million registered users, allegedly 100 million active users. So active would be like a log on to the system once a month. And they generate 230 million tweets a day. So basically, a couple of years ago, they started to get some traction, especially among celebrities. So of course, as you would expect, there was a lot of fake accounts out there, yeah. So Twitter came up with the idea of giving like verified badges, and the idea was that basically they verify, okay, who is the real owner of the account on Twitter, and by giving that sign, as you see on the screen, it would basically make people more comfortable, and it would say, okay, yes, it is really the real whatever, Britney Spears, Lady Gaga, or Citi, talking about a financial institution. So it contributes again, it reassures people, and it has an impact, or could have an impact on, again, your ability to have meaningful conversations on Twitter. So we said 1,500 accounts, 0.05% verified. That means what? That means 87 accounts in 9 countries are verified. This is the distribution of those accounts in the top 100 by key criteria on Twitter. And you see verified, just 50% of those 87 verified accounts are in the top 100. So you don't have to be the most followed account or bank on Twitter to get access to that almighty badge. The 8 countries are those countries. Of course, the US, but you see also quite a few other areas of the world. You've got Latin America, it's quite big, and a bit in Asia Pacific, and in Europe as well, through the UK and France. So how does it compare, those 0.05%? You can go online and you've got an account called Verified, created by Twitter. And at the moment, they're following more than 14,000 people, so tweets, with the Verified badge. I believe that it's not the real or genuine number, probably more verified people out there, but it gives us an indication rate. If I divide that by 200 million, okay, accounts, it's registered, not active, this is the figure I get, 0.0725. Okay, so if we compare that to the overall usage or user base of Twitter, we're behind in financial services. Now I'm going to show you two top 10, or top and bottom 10, to be exact, of those 87 accounts. This is the top 10. So you see on the left-hand side the global rank. We monitor those 1,500 accounts. So this is the global rank. I would have 1,560. And you see here American Express, very strong, Open Forum. It's also American Express. You see Bank of America doing well with 2 accounts there as well, BofA Community and BofA Help. Their account dedicated to customer support. Yeah. Most of those brands are in the US, the most followed ones, but again, it's not exclusive. On the right-hand side, you see also the level of activity. Some of them are not very active. Some of them are very active, like Banesco in Venezuela, or you've got Bank of America Help, so BofA Help, it's the customer support account with close to 100 tweets on average a day. This is quite low compared to the last few months where they were up to 130, 140, sometimes a bit more tweets per day on average. Those are the stats from September, by the way. And then I wanted to show you the bottom 10 of those verified accounts. Why? To give you an idea and to convince you that you reassure you, you don't have to be followed by the entire Twitter follower base or user base to get one of those almighty verified badge. By the way, you can challenge me on the almighty term, yeah? I tried to check and to see if there was really an impact in terms of growth due to the verified badge, but I didn't see any significant research proving that. But it's still a good way to reinforce again your presence there and to increase the general level of trust and confidence liaising with you on this popular communication channel. You see, so on the bottom ones, again, loads in the US, as well as other banks like Banque de France in France, central bank, and you see HSBC in the UK. The level of tweet is quite low there, except for, again, on Twitter dedicated to customer support from Geico Insurance in the US, 27 daily tweets. Don't worry if you don't have the verified badge, okay? First of all, you should apply for it. Could take time, so please do it. Start now, but it can take quite a while, yeah? There's ways to minimize the level of risk, increase the level of trust and confidence in your brand on Twitter. So this is a great example. Bank of America, BofA _ help for customer support. And you see, first of all, you've got the background, okay, general design. On the left-hand side, you see BofA help, the logo, yeah? It's quite good to do so, yeah? That's one way to increase perception of your brand on Twitter. Then you've got the icon, the avatar. You see here is the Twitter team. It could be a logo of your brand, again, of your bank or your insurance firm, yeah? The name, Bank of America, okay, it's quite reassuring. And you see the verified account. This is the icon there. Of course, the description. So you see here, Bank of America, we are officially we're here to help between those times of the day. That's another very important point, the description. Then you've got the URL, the call to action here. Where is it that you will redirect people from Twitter? And here, two things. First of all, there is a call to action, okay, redirecting to Bank of America's digital assets. But here, in top of it, Bank of America is using what we call a URL shortener. You know, Twitter only 140 characters, so you can of course share like very long links. So in the last few years, you had like, and you saw loads of those companies which basically provide that actually, a URL shortener service. One of the most famous being bit.ly. That's the one I use, yeah. So here they've got their own URL shortener. A few brands are doing that to again increase the level of confidence, of trust in the URL, the links they share on Twitter, because allegedly just those brands can use that URL shortener. And you see on the right hand side, of course, the number of followers, the number of listed. That means that again the account is quite well known, and the number of following. It's a good balance here, yeah. So this makes me quite comfortable dealing with Bank of America on Twitter. Again, when you click on the URL shortener here, the http go.bofa.com/bofahelp, the genius of Bank of America, but they haven't invented it, but they're one of the first banks to do so. You see here, it directs to an area on their website where they talk people through their social media strategy. And they say, this is who we are. Those are official digital assets on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, okay? Those are a short URL service, and this is why you can trust us basically on Twitter. So please do that, so you don't have to have a verified badge to increase your perception of your brand on Twitter and make the tweets willing and more at ease with having dialogues with you there, yeah. And last but not least, when you got one of those badges, communicate about it, yeah. And you could be inspired by a Bank of America, by Banco Sabadell in Spain with their blog. Basically, it's a PR type of platform hosted on a Typepad architecture, so it's quite interesting. And BS for Banco Sabadell, not for another terminology you could use here. It's very much not bullshit there. Banco Sabadell is doing a great job, and they're providing 24/7 customer support on Twitter, for instance. And yesterday, they released that blog post saying that now at Banco Sabadell, so the official Twitter account is credited with the verified account badge. And they explained that other companies started in financial services like American Express, Citi, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America. So they're proud of it. They keep their membership and their clients aware of that, and they again increase the level of awareness to the Spanish population. So it's very good, it's very clever. And how did I hear from Banco Sabadell, or I got this information? My good friend Paul Navarro, the director and head of innovation and direct channels at Banco Sabadell, sent me a tweet last night. So that was it. Verified account for those of you, so the likes of Citi, Lloyds TSB, Bank of America, Banco Sabadell, who got that badge. I would love to hear from you on Visible Banking. I would love you to talk us through the process, to explain how long it took to get that badge, and the impact it has on your communications on Twitter. So please reach out. Yeah, that was Christophe, Visible Banking, London, UK.